You went to the grocery store this week. Maybe you noticed the prices. Maybe you didn't. Either way, there is an Iranian missile in the price of your milk. Not metaphorically, literally. There is a documented chain that runs from an attack on a shipping lane 12,000 kilometers from here to the price of every item on every truck heading to every Walmart in the United States. The government isn't going to show you that map. We will. On March 4th, 2026, Iran declared the Strait of Hormuz closed. The strait carries 25% of all the world's seaborne oil. When the strait is threatened, oil traders price in the risk. Oil futures rise. The price of crude oil goes up. Diesel fuel is refined from crude oil. When crude goes up, diesel goes up. Diesel fuel powers approximately 70% of all freight trucks in the United States. Diesel is not a small part of a trucking company's costs. It is 25 to 35% of total operating costs. When diesel goes up, trucking costs go up. Trucking companies pass those costs to distributors. Distributors pass them to retailers. Retailers pass them to you. That is the map. That is the chain. Strait of Hormuz. Crude oil. Diesel. Truck. Distribution center. Walmart. Your cart. 7 steps. 12,000 kilometers. One unbroken line. Here is the math that nobody publishes. 93% of all food sold in the United States is transported by truck at some point in its supply chain. Not some food, not most food, 93%. The American trucking industry consumes approximately 54 billion gallons of diesel per year. According to the American Transportation Research Institute, every 10-cent increase in the price of diesel adds approximately $5.4 billion to the total cost of moving freight in America. That cost doesn't disappear. It moves through the chain. Since the Hormuz crisis began in March 2026, diesel prices in the United States rose significantly. Every truck driving food from a distribution center to a store near you is paying more per mile. That cost is already in the price of the food on those trucks. The missile was fired. The strait was threatened. The oil price moved. The diesel price moved. The trucking costs moved. The food price moved. You paid for it at the register. The United States has a strategic petroleum reserve. It holds approximately 360 million barrels of crude oil. That sounds like a lot. American daily consumption of oil and petroleum products is approximately 20 million barrels. The SPR covers 17 days. There is no strategic reserve of diesel fuel specifically for trucking. There is no alternative transport system capable of moving American food if trucking becomes significantly more expensive or unavailable. The American Freight Railroad Network handles bulk commodities, grain, coal, chemicals. It does not have the last mile capacity to replace the 3.5 million trucks currently delivering to American stores. A missile fired 12,000 kilometers away raised the price of every truck on every highway. There is no plan to stop that from happening again. This is what Black Latitude maps. Not the war, not the politics, not who is right or wrong in the conflict. The geography. A strait 21 miles wide. A chain 7 steps long. A bill that arrives at your register without explanation. The geography doesn't lie. What happened in the Middle East is already on your table. The question is whether anyone will build a system that breaks that chain before the next missile. Who decided that the American food supply chain could depend on 21 miles of water, 12,000 kilometers away?